Federico Ferrante here from Azimuth Yachts, and today we're going to do a very comprehensive walkthrough of this brand new Azimuth Yachts 66 Flybridge. So while we are here in the cockpit, we're going to start going through the features and what it does offer, and the same will go from area to area. And I also would like to show you some of the backstage, some of the technical details of how we build the boat, the material that we use, the process which are behind and backstage in order to get to this incredible finished product. So I will not go too much into describing what you can see. So this is a table, this is a sofa. Rather, I will focus on something which is worth talking about. For instance, this material right here, as you can see, as it looks in the video, but the same looks in a real environment, is the look is 100% of marble. Well, it's not. This is a synthetic material, man-made. It looks exactly like marble. It actually costs more money than marble. The reason why we use this material is that, unlike marble, is completely stain free. So this doesn't absorb any liquid. You can spill lime, lemon, orange, grapefruit, any sort of acidic fluid which would affect marble permanently, will not damage in any way, shape or form this material, which therefore provides you the same look of marble without the price to pay in terms of spillage and damages. Fabrics, this is our upgrade fabric option we have on this unit. This is called Batiline. It comes from a French manufacturer and is a fabric designed and engineered for outdoor. So is a full water resistance, very easy to clean, water and soap. It comes clean, resistant to sun lotion, designed for outdoor furniture, but it gives you that feeling of an interior fabric. So instead of having the vinyls that we were using back in the days, and then when you start sweating they create that uncomfort feeling, this is our upgraded fabric. Again, it gives you really the feeling of being a woven fabric, but instead is a synthetic vinyl base designed for outdoor. Storage, we provide storage, every single volume available. We will go through the entire boat and I will show you every single volume available is dedicated to storage. So these two cabinets right here, of course, are storage for cleaning product and so on and so forth. They also host, of course, the lever for your capstans in case you need to operate them manually, as well as your emergency manual bilge pump. This is the lever which allows you to select which area of the bilge you are suctioning from, and this is actually the lever that you insert in the pump to pump out in case of emergency and lack of electric bilge pump malfunction. That's mandatory by code. The 66 Flybridge, what we'll talk about that, is a CE Class A certification boat, which is the highest class that CE provide in terms of navigation, in terms of distance from the coast, power of the wind, intensity of the wind, and size of the waves. So it's the highest class available. We went through storage, so probably here very easy access to the under of both the two wings of this sofa. There is these two very conveniently located doors which provide you access to the entire bottom, where you can put your window covers, your furniture covers, cleaning product, the chamois, hook, and you name it. It's actually fairly deep and easy to reach and locked and protected. Going to the wet bar, while we are here, you have an actual door refrigerator for the cockpit, where also you have a sink, as well as when you don't use the sink, hot and cold water sink, or a nice working space here to help and assist with the food at the table. You have these stainless steel Flybridge support poles, which are a signature piece of our Flybridge collection. Of course, they serve the purpose of structurally sustaining the flybridge, a reason why we can reach so far back and have the best flybridges in the segments of each of our flybridge models. So a combination of engineering as well as clever usage of materials. So also on the 66 Fly, we use a significant amount of carbon fiber with vinyl ester and epoxy resin to reduce weight and increase sizing. For instance, the flybridge is a good example. It's an area which is laminated in carbon fiber. That's why it can be so extended, and we'll go through it later. Keep going through the cockpit. We have the same amount of storage here. I always like to point out the smart solution. This is a very simple panel which can be locked with a key, and what this does, these are your battery switches. So engines and service and generator batteries are put on or off from this panel. What this means is that you can leave all your breakers, the DC power breakers, in the position that you wish without going through them all every time you leave the boat. You just switch off this first switch right here, and that cuts the power from the batteries to your loads and devices on board. So you don't have to you basically never touch your breakers. You just, when you leave the boat, you switch this, and every component is safely not powered. We will look at this later, but we have two controls here, custom made for Azimut Yachts with Azimut Yachts logos. You will see they're identical. They control this one with only two arrows, control the platform, the hydraulic platform, which raise and lower into the water to put in the water the tender and then enjoy time at water level. And this, instead, with four arrows, controls your gangway. So there is a gangway under this step. Under here, imagine there is a box, and from here a gangway comes out. Of course, you control in or out and up and down. That's why you have four controls here, two controls here. Safety gate, while we are here, they all lock in two positions, so fully closed, engage, so safety provided. Beautiful Azimut Yachts engraved logo on the gate, and then to open it you just lift and turn, and open position in place, safe and sound. Last but not least, in the cockpit, again, we always work to provide the most amount of storage possible, so why not? Under the stairs here was a lot of space available, so it was a perfect location actually for this ladder, which fits in his own dedicated bag. This is a big telescopic ladder. I will remember to tell you what that is for. It's actually to be able to go and perform maintenance and service on top of the hardtop on the flybridge. By code, we provide a ladder in order to allow the captain or crew to be able to safely go and perform safety operation on the rudder mast. So let's say that you have a burn navigation light, so that is something that you can't wait to be ashore to fix. You want to make sure that A, you have a spare on board, that's always a good idea, and B, you need to fix that as soon as you realize that you have a problem. And therefore, if you need to be on the hardtop and on the flybridge, you want to be able to do that in the most safe condition. That's what that big telescopic ladder is for. I think we can go inside. Again, these are custom made for the Azimut Yacht 66 Flybridge door, stainless steel and tempered glass, and very simple mechanism. You hear the clack, so every panel lock in place, that for safety. So there is a travel movement from A to B, but then as soon as he reaches B position, spring loaded safety latch engage, and the door is not moving anywhere. So you want to make sure that nobody can be trapped with the boat moving and the door risking to hurt yourself. Those are all safety details which experienced manufacturer put in place when they build and design their boat. Then you disengage the two safety latches, and you push your doors back, and they will engage again for safety. And look, solid, strong, nothing moves, and now you have this beautiful communication with between an internal lounging area. So this is the salon. We'll go into the details of this, and the cockpit. So from the stairs coming to the platform. You have your cockpit. You have a very, very moderate step, which of course is the frame of the door, which also works as a barrier in case of backflush. You know, when you slow down or you have back coming seas, or you slow down for some reason significantly, you might have water which from the ocean come back into the cockpit. This is also works as a barrier for that. But then after that, you have only one step, extremely wide, short and comfortable, to access then the dinette and the galley, breakfast nook, and so on and so forth. So very limited amount of stepping. You step over this, you have one step here, and that's about it. So entering into the salon, of course, you get into the area where you have the noble materials. So this is a brushed oak with a 10% gloss finish. So just enough coating to close the pore and protect it from the environment and staining, but still left very metallic, very natural, it feels almost like touching a tree, I always say. And then of course the Azimut Yacht design team and architect, they have introduced this brand new decor of the 66 Flybridge, which is now in line with the 60 Flybridge, the 55 Flybridge, all the Achille Salvagni design. So this now follow that trend, and this, so you have the same material, same combination, same feeling. So you have the combination of a very raw metallic material, stainless steel trim in between, and mahogany 100% gloss. So a combination of two material which technically you wouldn't see them together. You wouldn't see raw oak, and 100% gloss mahogany. And instead the work of design, the miracle of creativity created this combination which is so beautiful and appealing. You don't have too much drama from the 100% gloss, and you don't have too much rough from the raw material, but combined they create obviously a balance, a flow. This is a beautiful glass cabinet, obviously all LED backlit, where every glass has his own dedicated position in acrylic, a custom-made cut panel. Of course, every glass is engraved as is custom-made for Azimut Yachts, so those are also little touches that tells how much detail we put in the design of our product. You don't really need to have each glass engraved with the Azimut Yacht brand. You just buy a set of glasses and put it on the boat. No, we go to the last details. Talking about details, I want you to notice that the bottom, where each component stands, is neoprene. Again, details. So this is a boat, it moves into a fluid which moves itself as well, and so you don't want things to rattle, and making the bottom of every support in neoprene absorb vibration and avoid noise. While we are here and we're talking about China, this is actually where all your China is on the 66 Flybridge. So one spot, perfectly located, halfway between the outdoor dining in the cockpit, outdoor dining in the Flybridge, indoor dining there, kitchen. So this is a very good position, and each drawers have a certain amount of different components of the China, which of course is as well logoed on every single piece. Neoprene bottom to avoid noise and vibration, as well as neoprene locking pin. And every drawer is different kind and amount of China. Moving forward, this is a coffee table. Of course, is locked on the ground, can be removed in case somebody want to replace it or make it bigger, smaller, but is locked safely into the ground, so of course doesn't move around. While I was here, I forgot to show you this. Is a little storage for some audio video components, and that's a perfect spot for either remote controls or there is an electrical socket in there, very clever, in case you want to leave a phone charging and so on and so forth. Sofa, what we will talk about in terms of sofa is access and storage that we always do. So each sofa provides either room for technical components, like in this case. For instance, we have our subwoofer is right there. Our air conditioning fan coil is right here. Then we have some available storage here, and this part right here is all available storage like that. While we are at it, and very important for us is to always give very easy access to technical components. So this is a fan coil, this is the filter of the fan coil, and I always recommend to clean this filter at least every couple of weeks, at least once a month, no more than that. And therefore, because it's an operation that you are required to do fairly often, we want to make sure that we make it easy for you. And therefore, you will see that in every Azimuth yacht, access to the fan coils, to clean your filters and make sure that you breathe clean air, because bottom line, that's what it is. You're cleaning the filter of the air that you're breathing. The access is easy. We will talk about the air conditioning system later. I'll take you to the engine room, and we'll talk in details about which kind of system we use and why. But again, subwoofer, fan coil, storage. And also under this sofa right here, there is an immense amount of storage. So just by removing the pillow, all that volume right there, removing the other pillow, same thing, is all storage. While we're talking about sofa, you are here in residential size ergonomics, so extremely comfortable, very deep. So you see from my bottom to my knee is really a residential ergonomics and sizing of sofa, so extremely comfortable. You're not on the tight boat-made boxy furniture, but you can spend hours here watching movies and spending time and chit-chatting with friends and family. While we mention movies, of course, television. This panel you see from here to here, so 55-inch TV comes up. There is a switch right there, and up and down, and this panel open. Now there is a little bit of a decoration material on it, and the TV comes up. Of course, you want it hidden in a high-low because look at the amount of natural light that the 66 Flybridge provide, let in, so you don't want to obstruct this beautiful view with the TV always hanging. So when you don't watch TV, you keep it down, you don't look at it, and instead when you watch TV, you bring it up. But again, talking about the amount of natural light, you can see the sizing of the windows throughout the boat. Imagine now you are in a beautiful place in Polynesia, in the islands, in Samoa, in every other place in the world, in Greece, in Italy, in the Bahamas, and in a beautiful bay by yourself at the anchor with your friend and family, and you have this kind of view all around you. It's just priceless. Storage, of course, this is a drawer. We can tell that is a drawer, but because I was thinking about this is something that if you don't know it, I have had actually customers which never knew they had this kind of volume because it's so well hidden. If you look at it, it looks like a solid piece. You have a drawer here, it's kind of deceiving. Instead, you raise it up and look at the amount of storage volume that you have here, and as well as here, this is actually access to another fan coil. So when you see panels like this to lift, there is double side Velcro. You pull it up, you access the fan coil to clean the filter again, just like we did over there. These are the GFCI. So every electrical sockets, this is heads and kitchen. So when the electrical sockets are in wet spaces by code, ABYC as well as NMMA, ABYC standards to comply with NMMA requirements, every socket in a wet environment have to be protected by GFCI, and these are the two protection. That's what they are. So anyway, this is an extra bonus storage, if you wish, and we'll put back their decoration pieces. So moving forward, while we will pass through here, this is your central vacuum system. We'll see a couple of these around the boat. We put them in position where from one hook. The hose is long enough to vacuum the entire area. So what this is, you have a central vacuum system which is permanently located in technical spaces, typically the bilge, and what happens is that you have a hose which have a tip at the end with a metal ring. You insert the tip in here. You see these two metal prongs right here are put in connection by the metal ring, and the vacuum system starts by itself. So you can start vacuuming, cleaning without going around with a vacuum cleaner itself. You just have a very light, easy to handle hose to vacuum the entire boat. Sofa. This is again a combination of fabrics. These are all selectable from our decor book, which have an incredible amount of selection. For this specific unit, they have chosen fabric for the salon sofas, and instead Italian natural leather for the dinette dining sofa, which makes sense. If you spill something when you eat on leather, you just take water and soap and clean it off. The same will be a little bit harder on fabric. We have all these sofa is storage. In this particular boat, which have a fairly sophisticated audio-video system, you will notice that the part of this available storage has been used for actually audio-video component, and that tells you also the quality at which they are installed. Those are UPSs, so backup power units. These are your DirecTV and your receivers, and that's a perfect location for audio-video components. That center part of the 66 Flybridge sofa in the dinette, believe it or not, has a good amount of electrical components, which I'll be happy to show you. So part of the electrical system is just under the sofa. Everything is, imagine this as an electrical panel, so everything is perfectly color coded and coded in terms of reference that you cross on our diagrams, which are provided both electronically and paper. And so this is part of the electrical panel. It was a good place where to install part of the electrical panel, electrical connection on the boat. And actually this side right here, sorry, is instead fully available for storage. So this is completely empty at the moment and is fully available for the owner to use as a storage. So again, to recap, we have storage under that sofa. All that sofa is storage here, storage there, or audio video. So there is an immense amount of available storage and easily accessible. We can now take a look at the galley. Very complete, comfortable. You have a beautiful countertop here, which gives that entertaining kind of environment where who is in the galley is still connected. You can, drink and use this preparation for snacks and drinks, while instead you still have a lot of countertop space for your main cooking. You have a refrigerator. These devices right here are safety for navigation. So when you're navigating, you close this and the door, you see, are not able to open. Then you put them on this side and you have a full-size refrigerator here and double drawers freezer on the bottom. You have storage in every single amount of volume available is storage. All storage here, storage here. This again, I will not show you everyone, but that again is a panel which just clip off, and there is an air conditioning unit behind that panel. Again, access, service, clean, and so on and so forth. So it's just no tools with your hands. You take that panel, pull it off, access the unit, and put the panel back on. Moving out this way, you have storage. You have your signature Azimut Yachts silverware. Each piece again logoed with the Azimut Yachts logo and custom made for Azimut Yachts. All the appliances we use are Miele, so Miele conventional microwave oven as well as a cooktop. Storage, this is your sliding pantry. Of course, a storage double sink, and we have a storage underneath this cutting board. In this case, there is a set of cookware, but this is a nice volume of storage. In cleverly located power socket, there is never enough, so we put over quantity of power sockets. You have two on this side and one on that side of power socket. Going forward, this is actually a very interesting area because is a multi-purpose, if you wish. These are, of course, swiveling stools that you can have in this position if you're moving, I guess, and you want to enjoy the movement, enjoy the landscape, and maybe sip a drink. And they have this kind of a bar configuration, but also with a very clever and easy push of your foot, you can swing them the other way. And now, instead, if somebody is cooking and having a good time, you can have a couple of friends here with drinks and be in this very social environment. From that console that I show you later in the helm, you control the window. This window, as well as the one on the other side, are electrically operated, goes up and down. So you can be here on your stool, the other one turn around, enjoy a drink, and also have some beautiful natural breeze coming in. So moving on the starboard side of the main deck, we have the main helm. Under the main helm, you actually have an immense amount of storage as well for typically, your flags, your horn, your emergency horn, I mean, your flares, your navigation, your covers of your instruments. So you can put really all the stuff which belongs to the helm station can be conveniently located in this storage right here. And then you walk into the helm. Helm, where again, cleverly located, you have double USB power source right here, and as well as an AC power source. So you can have USB cables from your phone directly plug in here, and an additional standard socket. Helm is extremely comprehensive. As I said, you have a port and starboard window, electric windows, so we take this one down now. And you have identical on the other side of the galley, so once you open boats, you have a beautiful airflow. If you want to enjoy the boat without air conditioning, we always find ways to put natural ventilation in every ambient. So by opening cleverly located windows, you create natural airflow. Helm. This is a Raymarine package boat. This is our platinum package, so the top of the line for the 66 Flybridge. This boat is powered by Caterpillar C18, 1150 horsepower each. So standard shaft line propulsion, shaft and propellers with Caterpillar. It's actually a very fast boat. 66, they all do anywhere between 33 and 35 knots each, wide open, and they cruise all day at 28, 29. So extremely comfortable, very reliable propulsion system. And now between joysticks and thrusters, the maneuverability of shaft line is definitely no more a challenge for anyone. So joystick is provided by Caterpillar with the propulsion package. So we buy joystick, levers for Flybridge as well as main helm, engines and reduction gears or gearboxes from the same manufacturers, from Caterpillar. In terms of service, warranty, spare parts and so on and so forth is very important. Customer can rely on the Caterpillar worldwide service network to get their Azimuth Yachts service from the propulsional standpoint. And then you have all your other standard control. This is your Tridata, your autopilot, your bow and stern thruster in this case. This is your trim tabs control, rather trim blades. This is your Seakeeper stabilizer control. You have one here and one on the Flybridge. This is probably the most revolutionized system introduced into yachting in the last 50 years probably, which I always like to remind that has been developed by Seakeeper and Azimuth Yachts. So we are approaching now the lower deck, and we're gonna go through the master cabin first, passing through this area where I will stop real quick just to show this opening. Very important. Washer and dryer, so conveniently located. They're just outside the master cabin. On a 66-footer, that's where you want them, and right in front of each other, so it's easy to transfer the load, and then by probably sitting on the stairs is the best way to deal with the washing loads. So again, separate unit, Miele brand, so extremely high quality, reliable. Again, this, we mentioned it in the salon, this will be your central vacuum system socket for the lower deck. So it's located in that position because with one hose from there you can reach all the way to the VIP and all the way to the master without putting too many of those socket. This is the master. Unique layout, so it's a full beam, incredible amount of natural light through these frameless structural windows. We still incorporate portals because we would like to provide, as I mentioned above, natural ventilation in every area of the boat. So if you would like to enjoy the boat without air conditioning, by opening these two portals opposing each other, you can create a nice natural airflow. And if not, instead, of course, air conditioning will do the job. As I said, full beam master. Separation, and always we try to adopt clever design. So this, of course, is the head, but once you close the door, if you picture it, behind the aft bulkhead of the head is the engine room, which is the noisy part of the boat, especially when it's moving. And so by creating this pocket of air, which can be sealed, you are creating basically a natural sound barrier. And so these cabins become extremely quiet, even in navigation, because of the way the layout has been engineered. So the head and the walk-in closet are not here by coincidence. There is obviously engineering and experience behind it. So we have a console here. You have a high-low TV, which is controlled by that switch right there, up and down arrows. So of course you want the TV up only when you want to watch it, because you don't want to obstruct the beautiful view that we discussed. Immense amount of storage, so you have two drawers with very deep storage units. Here you have three drawers there for extra storage. This is actually opening, and storage here. And of course, you have a cabinet here, same volume, and a walk-in closet here where you have your hanging bar, locker here, and actually all this everywhere you see panels which have these kind of features is because they're designed to be pulled apart and access the technical space behind it, which in this case, for instance, is the manifolds for freshwater, hot and cold distribution. So that also, I always like to show also the backstage to show the viewer the quality on construction of Azimut yachts. So those are air conditioning lines, insulated for condensation, and you can tell the quality that they are run. Electrical panel, of course, and this is your manifolds for your freshwater, hot and cold distribution through the boat. So each area is independently fed. You can adjust the pressure and the amount of water you deliver to every area. So every time you see panels made like this, they hold in place. Nowadays 3M makes this double-side Velcro, which makes it super easy, piece of cake, to put panels back and forth in place. You have shelves, hanging locker, and in that corner right there you have a safe for the master cabin. So again, this volume right here is an air pocket, if you wish, to also isolate and soundproofing the master cabin from the engine room. While we went through storage, of course, signature features of Azimuth yachts on every model, but the amount of storage you have under beds for suitcases, towels, sheets, even clothing. Audio video component, that's a subwoofer, for instance, of the audio video system of the master. So TV, surround sound, and subwoofer in the master cabin here. And lastly, you have, this is also an extra storage unit, which also works as a full-size mirror. So before going out for dinner, you want to make sure that you look good, and this is a full-size his and hers mirror, while there is another one in the walk-in closet. Another actually clever usage of space is that also where you don't expect it, we make sure that we use every single inch of volume of storage available. So we can take a look at the head. Here we go again with the incredible amount of storage available in the 66 Fly head. You have storage and storage, 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 storage. So look at the amount of storage in 5 feet of space. Natural, actually handmade natural stone. This is quartzite. So it's a natural material, but much more resistant to stains and damages than marble. Natural light and natural ventilation, of course. I want you, if you don't mind, to come in here. I always like to show how roomy the showers are. So this is the master, of course, is the largest of the showers. But again, you know, you have a nice rain shower feature, and I'm 6 feet, 170 pounds, or 75, 76 kilos, and I can completely move around without any obstruction. I'm really in a residential size and ergonomic shower without any obstruction. I don't heat anything, so I really feel like I'm at home. That's the same comfort. Of course, you also have a bench and you know, obviously shampoo holders and so on and so forth. So, but that gives you an idea of the ergonomics of the shower. We can close. Beautiful design lamp. So this is part of our design package. So while we're talking about it, all the lighting on board is LED. There's not a single incandescent light on the boat. And also this boat has the design package in terms of lamps, which involves beautiful design lighting details like those reading lights and that lamps, and we'll see others going through the boat. So we move to the VIP, which thanks to our signature design bow offer an incredible amount of space in the forward bulkhead. We'll take a look at it later when we go and see the bow, but our trapezoid bows offer basically 3 advantages, 2 of which we'll see when we go up there, and 1 we can talk about in here. Because our bows are not the typical old school narrow pointy bow, but have that unique trapezoid shape, that bulkhead right here is wider at that given position on the boat. In other words, if this same boat with the same length, same layout would have the standard old school narrow bow, these bulkheads would be significantly narrower and therefore will not give this amount of space to a VIP cabin. So this is how you get a VIP cabin of this magnitude. Same feature that we have seen in the master, of course reproportioned, but nice amount of storage under the bed for suitcases and towels and sheets, as we have covered already. And then of course you have a lot of storage, so every single panel you see, which gives you an idea of moving, give it a try, because 9 out of 10 is a storage compartment. So every single volume is always used for storage. And these are a little bit more logic to be cabinet. You have a full-size mirror in that one. Again, everybody want to make sure that they look good when they go out. And this is actually another good example of how easy is our access to technical space. You see, you have your pull up here, you pull it up, you move the panel. This is your fan coil. You want to clean your filter, make sure that it's always clean. Take it off, clean it. This must have been clean. Actually, you see, there's a little bit of dirt right here, but that's about it. This has been cleaned for sure, not too long ago. But you want to make sure that you keep this clean, and therefore we put them always in very easy places to access. You close your panel and you're done. There is another pull out right there. It means that behind that panel there might be something which require access. Could be a gray water tank, carbon filter, can be a valve, can be a scupper. So every component on the boat which require access is made accessible in a clever way, easy, no tools, no time consuming, and easy to take care of. Natural light, natural ventilation, also in this case 2 openable portal opposite to each other, create airflow, and beautiful natural air. VIP on the 66 as an in-suite. We're gonna do the shower test on this one as well, and go through the shower. So again, as I said, every panel will give you a kind of a feeling that might be, most of the time it is. So we use every single inch of space available for storage. You have storage here that folds down, and you have storage under the sink, medicine cabinet on this side, with again another access panel right here, because behind here there might be something. And again, this is double-sided Velcro 3M tape, so you need to press it and hear that clicking noise. That means that the 2 Velcros are engaging into each other, and then it will stay in position. So that was just put in place without doing that extra push. Shower test. And yeah, as you can see, this is the VIP head, and I can still move very freely. I can adjust my shower height, and I am again in a residential kind of dimension and shape. I don't have obstruction, and I can feel like I'm home and not constructed. Another good point, whenever you see these kind of panels, makes it super easy. That's your drainage, obviously. Very important on yachts to make sure that that is clean. Yachts don't discharge like homes water into a sewer system or in the ocean. The waters from sinks and showers go in what is called a gray water tank, and then from there, whenever you decide, if it's set in manual or in automatic, then from there, from the gray water tank, there is a pump which pump out the gray water, and typically both this size there is one pump doing that job. And if you don't take care of your drainages and you let too many debris, especially maybe long air, going through that tank and that pump, you will damage your pump sooner rather than later. So that 30 seconds that it takes to make sure that it's clean, the drainage is clean, are definitely worth it. And that's why we make the access to the drainages so easy, that is really a matter of pulling it up and clean the debris. So en suite, let's go and look at the other 2 cabins, because 66 Flybridge, actually 66 Flybridge is a very important product in the Azimut collection because there's a lot of heritage. It comes, it was the evolution of one of those models. Is like the Class S Mercedes, which is the same kind of model, same kind of segment. It evolves with time, and the same remain always a bestseller. So it's the top of the class, like in a Mercedes S class. The 66 comes from the 64, which comes from the 62. and that is being really a flagship for Azimut yachts for 2 decades. So the 62 was introduced basically almost 20 years ago. We built over 220 of them. Then the 64 replaced it. It was another couple of hundred of those. And now the 66 replaced the 64. The difference between 64 and 66 and 62 is actually the fourth cabin. So this is a 4-cabin layout to give, we have been able, through technology, through design, through material, carbon fiber, we mentioned it before, we have been able to work on the volumes inside the boat. So a 2021, a 2020 yacht of the same size compared to a 2000 design yacht is almost half the size in terms of filling and volume available, gross tonnage if you wish. So this is a 4-cabin layout. You have, this is the more formal twin, where you have a side-by-side, a very comfortable, nicely sized bed. You have your cabinet for clothing here, storage under each of the bed. This is actually the central vacuum system. Well, we'll talk about it. Before we mentioned it, this is your central vacuum system. So that socket that we see around the boat, once you plug in the hose, this comes on automatically and start vacuum, and this is from where you access it to then remove the bag once you need to clean it. And this other panel is probably another technical access to the bilge, and you have storage and access to the air conditioning system as well here. So when you see this small little panel right here, this means that this is all you need to do to access the air conditioning filter. So that's to give you access to the filter, clean it and put it back. This is all you need to remove. And this is probably another access to the bilge. Actually, while we talk about it, this is the gray water pump. So that we mentioned before, that gives you an idea of how the system are run from a technical standpoint. So you see, we always put labeling which indicate the flow of fluids. You always want to know, is the fluid going that way or that way when you take pumps apart, and you want to know what this is. So you see there's label. This is the gray water pump that we discussed about before there while talking about the showers. Easily accessible. This is a pump that sooner or later you will have to replace on any boat, no matter who built it, and no matter how good is the pump, it's just a matter of time. So you want to make sure that these kind of pumps are located in position where replacing them is fairly simple. You don't want them hidden in the bottom of the boat. So here you remove the mattress and you can replace and put a new pump in just by opening a panel. So this is the twin, natural light, natural ventilation, access to the head directly from the cabin. So this is why this is side by side with direct access to the head. This head actually is identical to that as far as size, so we don't have to go and do the shower test again. Is access from the starboard side twin as well as from the hallway. So this also works as a day head and head for this cabin. So this is the 4th cabin, bunk bed configuration with this kind of beam. You don't have room to put 2 side by side, so bunk bed, but very wide, very comfortable. The access to go up and down the bed is very comfortable and easy. So perfect cabin for kids, and why not if you have an extra couple of adults for the night. They surely can have a good night sleep here. Each bed has its own audio-video system, dedicated TV, each of the 2, and of course a closet for your clothing and shelves in here. So again, pretty unique 4-cabin layout in 66 feet. Flybridge is fairly unique. We're gonna move now down up to the Flybridge, and so if you follow me this way, again I always like to talk about handrail and safety. So you have a very sturdy, conveniently located handrail here, and you leave it and you immediately find the following here, and look at the depth of the steps. So very safe way up on the Flybridge. And this is where actually the 66 Flybridge Azimuth excel the most, because there is no Flybridge in the category of this size, dimension, and features enrichment. So while you are pointing this way, probably we start from the forward area, where you do have a sort of a sunbathing area, but which as usual has an high-low table here with a filler cushion. And when you don't use the cushion, you bring up the table, and this becomes now a dinette area. Same table of the cockpit and the Flybridge there. And this is electrically operated, comes up and down from there. And you bring it up, and this is like a breakfast nook, you know, an evening cocktail area, an extra seating area if you are dining in more than that area can accommodate. Or you put the table down, you put your filler cushion on, and it becomes a very comfortable lounging area. So you can have a husband and wife or significant other and a couple of friends laying here in a very comfortable position, enjoying navigation in the water and creating, you know, a friends and family sort of environment. Going into the helm, but yeah, of course, storage everywhere. So this is where you put all your exterior covers. We'll see all the rest of the storage of the Flybridge while we go through it. Helm, we went through the helm down below, so is basically every component that we went through down below is here. It's just very comfortable, conveniently located. When it comes to this kind of size, this is a size, especially in the Americas, is owner operated. In the United States, I would say that 90% of 66 are owner operated. So it's a very comfortable, and from a maneuvering and handling of the boat standpoint, visibility is phenomenal. So you can see, actually, let me put this bolster seat, and visibility is from here. You can see all the way to the end of your bow, and through that opening you can see at your transom. So maneuvering with the joystick and with this kind of visibility is very simple and comforting. So it can be scary when you get to this kind of size. Being up here and having all the control and the electronics, you have cameras on here, so when you're backing the boat you can see where you're going from your screen, so it makes maneuvering and navigating a little bit more easy. Hardtop carbon fiber hardtop with retractable awning. So I always say that I don't see so much usage for the awning during the day when the sun will filter through. But I have spent the most amazing nights on azimuth yachts, on Flybridges, having dinner with clients and friends, and the awning open, and it's just like having dinner under the stars. So that gives you the idea of the amount of area which opens and retracts through that control units right there. And while we move this way, you have a table dining for 8, up to 8 comfortable. You can take the chairs from downstairs, bring them up and set them up here, or as I said before, you can set someone around this table while another 3 to 4 people can be around that table. So this can accommodate easily up to 10, 11 people dining al fresco on the Flybridge. And this is your wet bar, where you have a barbecue, of course a stainless steel safety protection panel for the barbecue in case you turn it down. Emergency switch, this is what it is. So when you close the hatch, if you forgot your barbecue on, this switch right here get pressed by the hatch and cut off the power. So you can forget it on and it will still shut off on its own. And I'm gonna close your faucet, and you have of course your ice maker and the refrigerator side by side on the Flybridge. And this entire volume here is dedicated to trash, differentiated trash. And moving aft, actually we'll use this, that is the most easier to access, but every single cushion move, and then the entire volume of the sofa is watertight storage for covers and cleaning products, you name it. And this times 3, so every corner, every side of the sofa is storage. Coming aft, this is an option. This area actually is left blank, and you can customize and use these components as you prefer. In this particular instance, we made it with an L shape and a love seat opposite side, and this is again is 1, 2, 3, 4 lounging areas on the Flybridge in 66 feet. That's why I said at the beginning that is really a unique kind of model, and also residential size, extremely comfortable, and you definitely want to spend time here. Imagine the boat is moving, you have a beautiful landscape, you're leaving the island after a beautiful day, and you sit down here, a drink, and a couple of friends or family members, and if this is not the best time of your life, I don't really know which would be. So again, this is an option. So can also be empty. You can have chaise longue, you can put an extra barbecue piece of furniture on that side that we offer. So this area is a little bit of a white canvas, if you wish, that you can customize as you wish. I think that we should take a look at the crew quarters and the engine room to finish our walkthrough video. Platform, hydraulic platform, we mentioned it before, the controls are right there, and 13 feet tender or 3-seater jet ski, around 1,000 pound lift capacity, so plenty of power to raise and lower in the water toys, so either a jet ski or a tender, and also very convenient because once the jet ski or the tender are off the boat, you can actually, it's very nice, I personally do it all the time, you leave it at the level of the water, and so you if you have kids, I do, they love to get on and off the boat from the platform when it's actually at the same level as the ocean. And we take a look actually at the crew quarters, which number one, access from the transom, so the crew don't have to pass through the cockpit, they don't have to enter, bother anybody when they want to go to their quarters. They simply take one of the stairs and come down this way, and they enter their quarters, which have 2 beds, so you can have up to 2 crew members, 1, 2, and storage. Everyone, so sorry for this, is obviously in most cases works as you know, a warehouse for parts and components and so on and so forth on brand new boats before delivery. Of course, then the owner will decide where he puts his own stuff. Can also be in cases of owner-operated boat, which I said before, 66 is in that kind of range still. Imagine this then can become an immense amount of available storage. If you don't have crew, there is no reason. You just remove the mattresses, put them in storage, and then these two becomes flat surfaces where you can even build a divider if you wish, and then can be all storage for water toys, diving gear, fishing gear, parts, and so on and so forth. If you have crew instead, you can have up to 2 people where they have an ample amount of storage in every single volume of the boat, as you can see, as well as they have, of course, their own bathroom with a toilet, sink, shower, all in one. Is actually a fairly generous size. This is actually an area that probably is worth to do the size testing. And as you can see, this has a shower curtain which comes around, but still I can move very easy. Drainage panel to move again, and this is where your shower comes off from, hook right here, and you know, they have you know, it's a crew quarter on a 66 footer, so if you put it in that kind of proportion, it's actually extremely generous, as well as the size of the beds. They have their own audio video system, So there is a television there, comfortable access, storage, and so now I think we are ready to walk through the beautiful sidewalks and approach the bow. So while we are here, I mean, I want to point out to these very conveniently located sideboarding gates that you have on both sides, and specifically for the Americas markets in the US, these are very convenient because we have docking where you have a typically side dock on the side of the boat, and so you put your ladder up and down and you come in and out of the boat from these sideboarding gates. Whereas in Europe instead, or in other side of the world, is more typical to dock stern in, and that's why you also have on the 66 Flybridge you have the gangway. So in case you dock stern in, you can go in and out, you can go on and off the boat through the gangway. If you're more in an American style kind of dockage, you come on and off through the sideboarding gates and a sideboarding ladder. So while we walk through the bow, you can really appreciate from the outside the Stefano Regini design, which is an iconic genius, and these show you actually the amount of unobstructed, if you wish, glass, which translate of course in all the light 360 degrees landscape kind of environment and lighting that we saw from the inside. Here is, again, another lounging area of this beautiful Azimuth 66 Flybridge, where you have, of course, a standard sunbathing, comfortable for 4 people and a kid, if you wish, if you want to make it crowded, incorporated cup holder, and then you have this very comfortable lounging C-shaped sofa with, bimini top, which is hydraulically operated, which is the perfect spot. Like exactly, will be exactly the context. The sun is starting to go down. You, after a beautiful day at sea, you have been swimming and having a good time with your family. You sit up here. You have your nice aperitif, a nice drink, and a couple of friends, kids laying on the mattress, and I wouldn't see a better way to enjoy life. While you point at this, every single cushion is safely secured both through Velcro as well as a more mechanical fastening, meaning, again, as I said, this is a 34 knots wide open throttle boat, and so you make sure that you have extra fastening for your cushion, and the center area actually feature 2 watertight and storage locker, which in this case have been used to store all the covers from all these areas. You see, wherever you see these naps and these retaining clips, this is where the covers for the exterior furniture clips into it. So when you don't use the boat, everything is protected from the environment, from the sun, and prevent deterioration. So these are the cover which come standard with the Azimuth 66 Flybridge, and you can store them in many of the storage available for you on board, but this could be a location for the bow one. And the same amount of storage you have right there on the other side. And then of course you put down your cushions and you secure them in place again with your push buttons, so they will not lift up and move in the wind. Electrically operated, as we talk about bimini top, which through that switch, the black switch right there, so it's very self-explanatory, up and down, and once you put it down, it actually fold into this pocket right here, so it disappears. It actually disappears into this pocket, and this backrest actually stays down, so you don't have you have zero interference when you're moving, when you're maneuvering and cruising and driving the boat from the inside. Foldable backrest, so when you are up here, obviously nobody's driving from inside because you will be obstructing the view, so you have your backrest, and when you're maneuvering and controlling the boat from the inside, this folds down and is heavy enough to stay in position and unobstruct view. When we were down in the VIP cabin, which actually happened to be right under our feet right now, this is the emergency escape hatch from the VIP cabin. We talk about the azimuth bow. which is very unique. As you can see, this is where you understand it. When I talk about the trapezoidal, let me move away from the wind, so maybe I put my back to the wind and there will be less noise. We talk about the trapezoidal bow. So for instance, actually that's a perfect example. If you take a nice quick shot of that boat right there, you see that bow how is narrow and pointy. Like if this would be looking the same, we would not have three benefits. Number one, we saw it in the VIP cabin. So this kind of geometry of the bow allow us to have a much wider forward bulkhead of the VIP cabin. So therefore more space for the VA cabin, which the forward bulkhead is actually right here. All right. So now, second advantage of this trapezoid bow is this is a very technical and delicate area. Anchoring is as important on boats as moving. So this is a very technical area. You want to make sure that you have the most comfort, the most safety. You might need to deal with this area in rough seas, in certain wind condition at night. You might need to pick up your anchor and move somewhere else. So you want to make sure in the dark, you want to make sure that you have the most space to walk safely. And this kind of shape, imagine if now from here you put two line and you come all the way here with a narrow bow like that, your walking surface right here will be significantly less, versus with this kind of shape you're able to have so much more walking surface in order to do and take care of your maneuvering. So both dealing with the anchor as well as putting line on cleats is much more secure and safe. And last but not least, actually, if you turn the camera around and you point it to the bow of that 60 azimuth, which is another Stefano Regini exterior and Achille Salvagni interior piece of art, you'll see that there is those flat areas. So that is the same bow, it looks like a trapezoid, and you have those flat areas. So imagine now the same here, when you're going through weather, through water which are rough and the boat is cutting through, waves typically explode on the bow. That's what they do, and the spray can come up and make your ride wetter than it would. Through that system, we prevent that spray to reach windshields and even more Flybridge. Versus if you look at again at that design right there, you will see that the water that you're gonna cut through has a very smooth way to just come up. They don't have that. There isn't that flat barrier. So that you see right there on the 60. So the trapezoidal bow has a triple story, if you wish. Again, advantage of size in the VIP cabin, more walkable surface in a very delicate, important safety area, as well as more protection from water sprays in rough weather. So this is the story of the Azimuth Yacht's trapezoidal bow. So engine room access, 66 Flybridge is from this oversized panel in the cockpit. You just lift, put your foot on it, turn, and pull up. And a very comfortable ladder to go down. So, we always like to spend some time here in the heart of the boat. Which, by the way, I forgot, I apologize. Of course, this boat is equipped with a seakeeper stabilizer, which is installed right under the bed I was sitting on in the crew quarters. So that's where, if you wonder where is the seakeeper, that's where it is, under the bed in the crew quarters. Engine room, you have your 21 kW generator cooler here. And this is your air conditioning system. We talk about that is a chill water system. So your compressors are all your components are here, and all you have going around the boat is a loop of chill water. So what the compressor do, they compress a gas which produce cold, a closed water loop, which this is the pressure at which this pump is making the water run through the boat. That very cold water running through coils and fan, and that condition the air and make it cold. But I say so because back in the days the compressors were either within the fan coil or located into the leading spaces. Now with the chill water system, all the technical part of the air conditioning system is here in the engine room. So the noise making or the potential gas leaks are all here in the engine room. Electrical panel here. This is one of the main electrical panels. I always like to show you actually the inside of our electrical panel because there are pieces of art which show exactly how the level of quality and details. So every wire is of course color coded to standards, and each wire and each component is labeled in order for electrician to be able to troubleshoot eventual problem connecting our electrical diagrams with the wiring on board. So every panel that you see is this kind of level of quality and execution. And of course they are all watertight, and that's why it's always never leave them open, always closed. That's why there is these keys, and they're connected to each panel because you always want to have them closed. And these are the beasts that we were talking about before. So the C18 Caterpillar right here, and 1150 horsepower each. You have side aluminum fuel tanks, one per side, and with double Raker filter, so you can select which filter you want to use. In case you have problem on one, you switch to the other, and vice versa. You have what else we can cover here in the engine room? I mean, I think we covered all. Actually, very easy access for freshwater pump. So you always want to be able to make sure that your freshwater pump is at the right pressure. So your manometer is right here. Your restart button here, right here. So when you come down the stairs, this is the pump which you might have the most relationship with. Freshwater pump are always working, and therefore you want to make sure that the access to the pump, when I mean working, is they are hard working. So sometimes they might require service or replacement, and that's why you want to make sure that the manufacturer put them in an easy location. So you get on down in your engine room, and your pumps are right here. So pumps is something that sooner or later pumps go. Is a renowned fact, and as a matter of fact, because you know it, you install the pumps one next to each other in a very easy location to work on. And so in case of need, here they are. Battery boxes. I mean, I think we really went through a lot of the details, and so I think that if you have any further question, feel free to reach out and contact us through azimutyachts.com or marinemaxyachts.com. And there couldn't be a better place and time to do this Azimut Yacht 66 Flybridge walkthrough than the beginning of May in beautiful Pompano Beach, Florida, in this incredible location, which is the MarineMax Yacht Center, where you can come and enjoy basically the entire Azimut Yachts range in one shot. So thank you for watching, and have a great day.